From Washington to back here at home, where new evidence is coming to light in court in the plot to kidnap Governor Whitmer.
Everything from when the governor was made aware to how the FBI was tipped off to the so-called Wolverine Watchman. Let's bring in Defender Sean Lay live tonight. Sean, some of this stuff happened prior to the pandemic.
Prior to the pandemic, and Kimberly and Devin, we learned something new about this case every time these guys go to court. Today, a pretrial hearing. The FBI agent in charge of the entire case on the witness stand all day long. He says he had never heard of the Wolverine Watchman until they created a Facebook page and started talking. The state says they have enough evidence right now to label these guys domestic terrorist facilitators.
We have just spent about an hour showing you that there is a conspiracy for politically motivated violence.
State prosecutors saying they have the evidence that these three men, Pete Musico, his son-in-law Joe Morrison, and Paul Bellar of Milford, not only formed the group Wolverine Watchmen, they call themselves patriots. The FBI calls them domestic terrorists. But the men openly used Facebook to recruit other members who were anti-government and who called Governor Whitmer a tyrant for state COVID shutdowns. The men thought they were texting in secret on an app called Wire. The FBI says expressing violent thoughts like this.
I swear to God, if this is true, I'm going to Molotov her house.
But an FBI informant was on the inside capturing all of their communications. But early on in 2020, the FBI says they hadn't even heard of the Wolverine Watchman until one of the men created that Facebook group. And the FBI says early on, the hatred towards Governor Whitmer grew so hot, they had to alert her security team at the very start of this investigation.
I made contact with the commander of the governor's security detail and advised them of the mission of the Wolverine Watchmen, the hatred for Governor Whitmer, as well as law enforcement and others defending the Capitol.
So the FBI agent in charge of the case says Governor Whitmer was alerted from the very start of this investigation, not towards the middle or towards the end. We also learned today the FBI followed their every move, including into the city of Detroit last summer for Black Lives Matter protests, guys. They said members of the Wolverine Watchmen came to town armed to protect protesters in case Detroit police attacked them in some sort of confrontation. So that was something new that we learned about them. But again, this is a pre-trial hearing to see if these guys will go on trial. It will continue tomorrow. Back to you.
Really interesting. So, Sean, what happens next?
Well, the defense, they just ended today, and tomorrow, three defense attorneys for these three guys, they're going to put up a fight, saying this is a lot of talk without a lot of action. But coming up at 6 o'clock, the key to the whole thing is the FBI's confidential informant. And we learn more about him in court today, about how he reluctantly got involved. Very interesting stuff at 6.
Okay, we look forward to talking to you then. Sean, thank you.